From our studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee. Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. A little cooler this weekend than it was last weekend. And I'm Jeff Thee here, of course, coming from Arnold's Park Amusement Park. And I've got Amanda Olson with me again from Champion State of Mind once again. How about you? Did you have a nice Easter with that beautiful weather? And
we did. We actually had an outside Easter egg hunt.
Oh.
That was a lot of fun.
Kids love that.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great to see them do that. It was a lot of fun to watch them do that.
Yeah,
so.
well, we're in the process of moving, so we're having where's the remote hunt and all sorts
right.
of yeah.
That'll be a hunt that'll last for a long time.
Honey,
yes.
Did you see the spoons? No.
That'd be good.
Well, last time you were in here, we were talking about telehealth and maybe should we start out there, Cassandra, and why telehealth is important, and then we can kind of get in, or you go in any direction you want.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, actually, Jeff, I reached back out to you because the last video that we had done, the last recording, I talked about a bill, HF 294. Let me check out my numbers.
Yeah.
And that's telehealth parity. And so that bill was in the Human Resources Committee within the Senate, and it basically focused on three components. It focused on equal pay for telehealth, mental health services for telehealth versus in-person.
Right.
It focused on that the client and the provider could be in whatever location they wanted to be.
Yep.
They didn't have to be in office. And the third is that the provider did not have to provide a staff member to be with the client at the time.
Right.
So that's why this bill was extremely important to us, and I pretty much would encourage people to kind of go back to that previous video if they really want to highlight all the reasons why HF 294 was so important to pass.
And we could say it as simply as, and especially in the last year with COVID, mental health, stress is,
yes.
We're up here with stress, and being one-on-one with a provider, very, very tough, and like everybody else has found out with Zoom and whatever it may be, FaceTime, have been able to reach out to others, and it's worked out so well. And this is a bill that will make that easy for people to do.
Right,
Simply
right.
said.
Right. It guarantees that providers like myself and business owners like myself receive the same amount of payment for what we receive for in-person sessions versus telehealth sessions. And so it is a bill that speaks to giving mental health access to a greater capacity for the state of Iowa.
Yes, and there's a greater capacity needing it.
Oh, huge,
to say the
massive,
least. Yes.
Massive.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we had such a call to action in the previous video to have people reach out to the representatives, their senators, let people know how important telehealth services has been to them, especially during this past year, and why we need this bill to pass.
Right. And when last we talked, it was hung up in a committee.
It was.
And just as politics can go, little twists and turns, and they always say, don't watch how they make two things. One are laws and the other's a sausage.
Yes. So there's some unfortunate news, but then there was a turn of events. So the unfortunate news is the HF 294, the bill that I was previously speaking about, it never did actually move out of that committee.
Right.
Let's see, I'm going to make sure I get Senator Jeff Elder, the chair of the Iowa Senate Human Resources Committee, never actually brought it to a vote.
Right.
Never heard why, but he never did. So it sat. So that meant this last week, it died in what we call the funnel week, the second funnel week.
Yep,
okay.
Funnel, yep.
So that's unfortunate. However, bottom of the ninth, this was such an amazing turnaround. House of Representatives, the Human Resources Committee, had another bill sitting in front of them, and that was SF 524. Okay. This bill is to establish a committee to study the mental health bed tracking system in Iowa. That bill was sitting over in the House, and somebody had their thinking cap on, or a few people did, and definitely need to support Representative Joel Fry and Representative Ann Meyer, because we've been hearing their names consistently, that they've been such a huge support for telehealth parity and mental health services in general in the House. So they might have had their thinking caps. We're not sure, but either way,
they know the routes to take to get something to happen.
There's politics involved, right? So either way, there is this bill. So SF 524 for the mental health bed tracking system sitting over in the House. Somebody noticed that the previous bill that we were talking about, the telehealth parity bill, wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Somebody over here, over in the House Human Resources Committee said, let's take the verbiage, the language from the telehealth parity bill over here and attach it to the bill that's still alive over here, which is the SF 524. Right. So what ended up happening is, even though HF 294 died in the funnel, the language of telehealth parity didn't. It moved.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was getting updates that evening.
I bet you were kind of at a stressful moment. And what happened? It's bottom of the ninth, 2 out, and full count.
And they're screaming at the television, like, "Oh my gosh, that just happened!" That was amazing.
Yeah.
So us as providers, as business owners, as clients, are going, thank goodness. Yeah. Thank goodness that aspect, telehealth parity, is still alive. So now SF 524 is still alive. It is moving out of the House and will be going back to the Senate. And it needs to go to the Senate floor for a final vote. Right. But to do that, the Senate President, Jack Whitver, I'm being very cautious about my names this time.
You're doing very well.
I know, I'm trying, right? Senate President Jack Whitver needs to be able to allow it to move to the Senate floor. Okay. And that's why I'm here today.
Exactly, yeah. And we want people to contact your local representative.
Yes.
And if this is important to you, and it certainly should be, and we've got forums going on this weekend. One in Estherville that's going to have a lot of the big hitters there.
Correct, yeah. So in Estherville, let me find this here. We've got Senator Dennis Guth, State Representative Henry Stone, and U.S. Representative Randy
Feenstra,
thank you.
Yeah, our new congressman, yes.
Yes, they will all be there at the Iowa Lakes Electric Co-op in Estherville, April 10th, so Saturday, at 1 p.m.
Okay.
So I think that's a fantastic opportunity for people in our local community to go out and get in front of people and talk to them and say, this is extremely important to us as constituents, that we need this to be brought to a vote in the Senate.
Yes.
And why we would want our senators to vote yes.
Yeah.
To allow it to vote. Now, and one key thing that I need to make a point about, the original bill, the SF 524, so the mental health bed tracking system bill on its original grounds, started in the Senate and passed unanimously the first time. All right?
Yeah.
Moved to the House, and now we have this amendment with a telehealth parity language.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. One little step. That's all we got. One little step.
Let it in. Yeah. All right. I know I've had phenomenal feedback from providers, from clients, from family members, from friends, saying I'm reaching out to our representatives, I'm reaching out to senators to let them know. Keep doing that.
Yes.
Phone calls, emails are okay.
Yeah.
But phone calls,
phone calls are so much more persuasive.
Yes.
They really are.
Yep.
And I can tell you, anybody who's been elected to anything, they'll always say the same thing. Well, I got 1 or 2 phone calls on that. I got 3 or 4. Anything over like 4 phone calls, that's when they say, I got swamped with phone calls, and it does make a difference.
It does. And then if you can get to forums like this weekend or tomorrow, actually, in Estherville, or there's multiple forums going around the state yet, that we can still have an opportunity to have this bill go to the Senate floor and have a vote.
Yeah.
Bring it to a vote.
Yeah.
Come on, give it an opportunity to pass.
Any indication, has the governor given any indication of if she would sign it? Have you heard anything?
We have not heard any.
Yeah.
I have not heard anything.
And that happens with a lot of bills, you know.
Yep. I mean, personally, I would sure hope so.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of talk about improving, expanding mental health access in the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
This bill, not only with telehealth parity, but then, the mental health inpatient bed tracking system, we need that. There's a reason why that's passing so well. I can only hope that she would sign it. But again, we need it to get to the Senate floor, and we need it to be brought to a vote.
Yeah, and
we need that.
If it passes in the Senate, then it's time to call the governor's office.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But let's start where we are right now, and you can get onto the just Google Iowa legislature, and you can find, if you don't know who your legislator is, you can find out who it is, your state rep, your state senator, and get in contact with them.
Absolutely. And then, with this recording today too, Jeff, I'll make a list again of the reasons why I've been hearing why this bill needs to pass. And then, other feedback from business owners, from providers, why we need this to be part of the future when it comes to mental health services in Iowa. Again, this is about mental health access. This is about expanding the services and making sure that people can have access to those services. If we don't get this passed, it's another barrier that we could have prevented. It's
kind of back in the dark ages again. For everybody who during the pandemic have said, oh, thank goodness we had Zoom or the different venues to keep business going. And that's where we are with mental health. Thank goodness we have this, and we need this bill to pass to accentuate that.
That's right. We need the money to stay in the state of Iowa.
Yes.
We need mental health providers to feel supported. We need to attract them to the state. We need them to stay in the state. All of those things have the capacity, if this bill were to be brought to a vote, and cross fingers and toes, would pass.
Yeah.
It's all there.
And you brought up an important point here a couple minutes ago, Amanda. You were talking about people in your business, your employees and so forth. I often think of, well, if we know somebody in our family who needs some help and so forth, but think of the people who were displaced and come back to work, might have been a fantastic employee and have had some issues in the meantime. You want your workers to be not only physically tip-top, mentally tip-top. You want to keep those good employees.
Absolutely. And we have numerous, Iowa National Guard. We have many units that are going to be returning here shortly.
Yes.
Come on, guys. Like, this isn't rocket science. This is your constituents. Iowans are saying, we want this. We need this. We need our senators to speak for us as Iowans, and not these third-party outsiders that are whispering in their ears. But for our senators to know that, we need to talk to them. They need to hear our voice about what we need, what we want.
Absolutely. Constituents need to reach out and say, hey, people need help. And this is how you can help us.
That's right.
That's why we put you in there.
That's right.
So, but and when you go to these things, people, because I've been to these things, and sometimes people can get very rude, and if you want to turn somebody against something,
you don't do
be
that.
nasty to them. That's
Right.
human nature. So be polite, but persistent.
Absolutely. Make your point. Keep your point crisp. Highlight it, even kind of rehearse it in your mind even before you go if you can, and make it personal. Talk to them, make eye contact with them, let them know why you're there. Speak from your soul. That's what they're going to remember. And we all know somebody that and it doesn't have to be due to the pandemic, but having a hard time. It can be substance abuse, it can be an abusive, it can be stress. I mean, so many different things. So many.
We're talking about the ability to have one of these or a phone and have the opportunity to talk to somebody here in Iowa.
That's right. COVID was so many stressors, so much trauma has come from this situation. But if we can find a silver lining in any of that, the fact that telehealth, the use of telehealth, just catapulted or just shot forward so fast. Let's not move back.
No.
Let's move forward. Let's make that lemonade from these lemons. Let's keep moving forward with it, because
Excellent point.
we have it. We have the tools. We have the necessities. But let's keep doing it. But we need the state's support to do that.
So contact your state senator. If you got time, make time. Go to Esterville tomorrow, 1 p.m. at
1 p.m.
at the Iowa Electric Cooperative.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. All right. Anything else to add, Amanda, before we...
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for taking time to meet with me today. It's great.
Very important. I tell you
Yes.
what, we all have hard times, and when we need a hand, it's nice that we have people like you to give us that hand.
You're very welcome.
All right. Amanda Olson here with us today. Good mental health. What a great way to live your life. And if you need help, you can always reach out, of course, at Champion State of Mind. And we want to thank Amanda for taking time here with us. We thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Pure Fishing in Spirit Lake, Last Touch Painting and Cleaning, providing interior, exterior, house painting, and professional cleaning services in Spirit Lake. Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Attorney Bethany Brands at Brands Law Office in Spirit Lake. Ruthven Locker at the lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji. The YMCA of the Okobojis is the Bedell Family YMCA, building strong families and strong communities.